We all know that Mother Brain was one of the great nemesises of Samus Aran, trying to breed Metroids and oppose the Federation. But beyond that, what exactly did she intend to do if she won? And how did she manage to come to control such a massive organization like the Space Pirates? Today on the Lorator, we dove into the lore of Metroid to see if we can answer it. What exactly was Mother Brain's master plan? So let's start with the beginning. Mother Brain was a Chozo biocomputer, responsible for helping manage the day-to-day operations of Planet Zebes, and helping to lead the aging Chozo in other matters such as spiritual concerns. She had always had a bit of a superiority complex because of this, and she discovered more about that side of herself with the introduction of a young Samus Aran into the Chozo community, someone who she had a deep-seated jealousy for due to Samus being positioned as the successor to the Chozo's will. Mother Brain needed a way to bring about her vision for the galaxy, but how to do it with the question. Well, at the same time, the Space Pirates had existed for a while under the command of Ridley, acting more accurate to their names as pirates, raiding and killing entire planet populations and such. But what really sealed the deal for Mother Brain was what we call the exploitable weakness of the common Space Pirates. The Grunt species required a strong leader to give them organization and intelligence, and Mother Brain, having control of Zebes' vast defense systems and a being of immense intelligence, fit perfectly. What's more, the pirates had a bit of a chip on their shoulder, having experienced the humanocentrism of the Federation's politics and wanting to oppose it. That just left dealing with the established leaders of the pirates, notably Ridley. For that, Mother Brain had a brilliant plan. Ridley was an excellent battlefield commander, but lacked the ability for a greater vision, and she promised him Wardroom to fight and slaughter in to his heart's content. On top of that, on a more practical end, she offered to genetically correct Ridley and the Spice Pirates, using the DNA devices the Chozo created. This is how Samus got her Chozo DNA, incidentally. Doing so, she looked to fix the genetic flaws of the pirates, making them more capable. However, this is where we hit the first snag in her plan. We know that Mother Brain had helped work on the Metroids, and all evidence suggests that Ravenbeak was working with Mother Brain, or at least in contact with her. As at the same time on SR3D8, Ravenbeak's Machkin slaughtered the Thoha scientists and tried to claim the Metroids for themselves. But before they could galvanize their strength together, Ravenbeak's Chozo came down with a nasty case of X-parasite infection, and he was basically forced out of the events of the story for years. No matter. Mother Brain still managed to snag a Metroid from the Federation expeditionary team sent to SR-38 and used it to absolutely slaughter worlds without expending a single pirate life. But that wasn't the only problem to arise. We know that a third empire, the Kraken Empire, had emerged on the scene and was evidently so problematic that there was real consideration for a Pirate Federation United Front to fight the Empire, although this never materialized. The Pirate Federation War is largely off-screen, but we do have an idea of what happened. Mother Brain rapidly enlarged the Space Pirates into a standing army, directing resources to a number of projects, such as sending Master Brain, potentially another Chozo computer like herself, to work on the Doomsday project, getting new commanders such as Kraid and Fantoon on side to bolster her command structure, using Ridley to win critical battles where needed. We even see Ridley winning a space battle against Adam Malkovich just before he arrives in Zero Mission, not a small feat for him. She attempted to assassinate Federation Chairman Keaton, and had established bases of operations that were so well defended that they were considered impossible to break through until Samus got involved. We even see the Space Pirates had sympathizers among non-pirate individuals that actively helped to sabotage the enemy from time to time. At this point, I wouldn't even blame you if you thought Mother Brain's master plan meant winning the war with the Federation and securing their surrender. But that would be incorrect, at least partially. Many of you might be familiar with her plan to, quote, reset the universe back to zero. Well, to learn about what that means, we must turn to her vision for the Extreme Galaxy. She sent the space dragon known as Greed to the Extreme Galaxy for a number of reasons. Firstly, it of course expanded space pirate territory and provided bountiful resources to the war effort, but the primary purpose is to secure the power of the gods, aka the gifts of the Animus, which would have allowed one to secure the power to erase the entire universe. Whilst Greed never mentions explicitly Mother Brain's plans, he does say he was a part of the Space Pirates, and live to see Ridley rule over the space dragon species. If her plan was to reset everything back to zero, this seems likely to be her plan. What is interesting is, despite Chairman Keaton saying the Federation effectively won the war by Zero Mission, he didn't know the scale of the pirate threat. He didn't know their deadly doomsday was being made in secret, and he didn't know that they had an entire galaxy worth of forces in reserve. Had Mother Brain continued on, there is no doubt she would have won the war. But alas, she didn't foresee the intervention of the spirit of Grey Voice, Samus Aran's genetic donor and father, and the determination of Samus herself. Grey Voice explains that Samus creates timelines and futures even Mother Brain cannot calculate. One of the perks of being the chosen one, I suppose. We all know how that story ends. Samus arrives to confront Mother Brain in her chambers and ultimately prevails over the computer, destroying Mother Brain and escaping before the self-destruct timer could finish. We should walk away respecting Mother Brain. She turned a ragtag group of marauders into a real fighting force, and single-handedly brought the Federation to its knees. But that's all I have for today. What did you think of Mother Brain's master plan? Do you think it was a good idea, or do you think she was foolish from the beginning? Let me know down in the comments below. But until then, you know how I always leave you. Be safe, be wise, and please pray for a true peace in space.